Hi everyone, hope you're keeping well. So I recently sat down with the one and only Mr. Ricky Warwick. Ricky, of course, has come to the UK and touring the UK extensively throughout March. He's taken in the depth and breadth of the country. So make sure you grab your tickets to that. The tour, of course, is in support of When Life Was Hard and Fast, his most recent solo album, which is an absolute beauty. So we speak about, the album itself and working with Keith Nelson and Xavier from formerly of Buck Cherry, of course, both of those guys. Obviously, Robbie Crane's also on the album. The band that he's got in for the tour, including Jack Taylor Tax the Heat. We also speak about, forthcoming releases, both from Black Star Rider and the solo side of things as well, which he's already working on. And it was great to chat Ricky. I'm a huge fan of his, and you can hear everything that Ricky had to say now. And we're joined by Mr. Ricky Warwick. How are you keeping, sir?
Hey.
How's things?
Things are okay. Things are all right, thank you. Yeah,
Glad to hear
doing the best we can with what we got, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. That's all we can do, isn't it?
Yep.
Obviously, in a couple of weeks' time, you'll be gracing the UK shores and returning with this tour in support. Finally, has been a long time coming for obvious reasons. This one.
Yeah, it's been insane. I mean, I started playing shows when I was 14 years old. Playing youth clubs and stuff in the first band, and so in 40 years, this is the longest for me that I've ever gone without playing regularly. It's just been it's been a rough old time, but it's been a rough old time for all of us. And it's hard. Somebody takes away something that is your whole life, and it's not just your job, but it's what you love, and it's your vocation. That's a big thing. That's a big thing to get your head around. But like you said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Things look like they're getting a lot better. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I bet, mate. I bet. Obviously, the album came out right in the middle of lockdown. Did you have any sort of hesitations on releasing it last year? Did you think about holding it back at all? Or?
Again, you couldn't predict it. I mean, we'd already held it back. Obviously, I have to work around Black Star Rider's schedule, and the album was ready to go, and we actually thought by putting it out at the start of 2021 that we would probably be through the pandemic, but then because obviously the pandemic started in 2020, and like everybody else, we thought, by Christmas 2020 it'll be over, and 2021 we'll get back to doing, we'll be back to normal. Obviously that didn't happen, so you just can't predict the future. So we just had to really go with what we planned and hope for the best. And sadly, that meant that I couldn't tour the album when it just came out, which was extremely frustrating. But it's great to have it out there, and finally a year later, I'm getting to get out and actually tour the thing properly.
Yeah, man. And obviously, you had a great band behind you. Both, well, you've announced the band for the tour as well. Including Jack Taylor on drums. I'm a big fan of Tax the Heat, so it was cool.
Great band.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying when I saw you guys, I saw you and Damon do a show in Norwich, and I'll be at the Norwich date on this tour. And I think I'm right in saying Jack was helping out with merch or something, wasn't he, on that show? I'm sure I had a chat with Jack.
Jack's an extremely talented, multitasking gentleman. He not only does he play in Tax the Heat, like you said, an extremely great band. Really? Jack also works for my management company, so he works full time for them. He's also a tour manager. And when we went out with Damon Johnson, I did the last Warwick Johnson run. Jack came out and tour managed. Drove the car, did the merch, did everything. He's a great human being.
Yeah, man. And you've also got Ben Christo of Sisters of Mercy on guitar, of course.
Yeah.
And Richard Byrne of Mission. It's going to be a great band, man. I was really excited by the lineup when I saw who you had announced for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very lucky to have those guys. They're great guys, and they've got great work ethic, and they're wonderful people, which is the most important thing, but they also happen to be incredible musicians. So very honored that they're coming on the road with me. And like you said, it's a killer band. It really is. It's going to sound incredible.
No, I'm looking forward to it, man. Have you I take it rehearsals have already been well underway and everything's...
No, God, no. No, why would we want to do that? We haven't even started. Look, I live in Los Angeles. Obviously, everybody else is based over in the UK. So what we do, with the beauty of technology is we can all go on FaceTime. We all do our homework, and we know what the songs are. We know what the set list is. Everybody does their homework, and then we'll get together prior to the tour starting for about 3 or 4 days in a rehearsal room and go through it properly then. But these guys are wonderful players, so I'm not panicking. It's going to be great. And And that's how we do with Black Star Riders. That's how we do it with Lizzie, you know, because everybody lives everywhere. So it's just the cost involved of bringing people together, as you can imagine, it's huge. So everybody does their homework, and then we'll just get together prior to our tour starting and you know, put it together. And we've all been doing this long enough. I like to think we kind of know what we're doing at this point, right?
You like to think so, man. I'm sure you do. I've never seen, well, any of the guys. Well, I've seen Jack a few times. I've never seen Jack do a bad set. I've never seen you guys do a bad set.
Thank you. Thanks.
With a band like the quality of musicians, like say with the quality of musicians you got, there's no need to have any panics.
No, you know, absolutely. You know, I know they've got my back, and it's just a case of me going, look, here's the songs that you guys need to learn, and you know, when you know there's no questions, you know, when there's no like, well, how do you play this, or how does that? There's been none. So I'm like, yeah, they got it. You know, they're probably going to play it better than me. You know what I mean?
Speaking of the set, though, I take it obviously is a new album heavy set. I mean, what I loved about the album is you've got everything, some sort of more sort of Irish tinge folk stuff like Climb of Victory, or sorry, Time Doesn't Matter, all the way through to Gunslinger and Don't Corner a Rat, and more sort of punk and roll. Is there any songs in particular that you're really looking forward to playing live that you've not had the opportunity to?
Yeah, I think you mentioned Gunslinger, which is obviously a Mink DeVille cover. It's a great rock and roll song. I've been wanting to play that song live since I was a kid, since I first bought that single. That it was the B-side of Spanish Stroll. So that'll be cool. You know, title track of the records. You know, When Life Was Hard and Fast, and that's going to rock live. Fighting Heart's going to be great live. You know, yeah, we'll probably play 5 or 6 from the record. You know, a few from the other solo records. There'll be plenty of Almighty songs in there. I'm going to take that opportunity to play the Almighty songs. There'll be, I'm sure we'll throw in a Black Star Riders song and a couple of surprises as well. So hopefully there'll be something for everybody. You know.
Should imagine there will be, man. I'm just looking forward to these songs live. It's great having like live music back again.
Absolutely.
You know, it was weird. I was saying to a mate of mine the other day, when first show I went to after everything got relifted again, I was going to go watch the Wild Hearts play, and obviously Wild Hearts show, like Black Star Riders show, full of energy, full of everyone getting into it, and it was that thing where everybody walked in, you could tell people were a little unsure how to act now, because obviously you would just jump around and throw your arm around a stranger.
Of course.
And people were respectful for those who wanted to stand back and still wear masks and still a little cautious. But equally, when we were down the front in the thick of it, it was like it. Not only was it like it hadn't happened, it was just like it had never ever happened. That thrill of live music that we're all craving again, man. So I really can't wait.
Well, I think so. You know, I mean, where would we have been the last 2 years without music in our lives? Just to have that comfort, you know, when we were locked down, to be able to listen to the music that we love. And I think hopefully people that didn't realize before realize now what a huge important part music plays in mental well-being and just in your overall general well-being. You know, people say that music doesn't change anything or it doesn't matter. I mean, that's crap. It does. And I think, you know, case in question, the last 2 years, you know, without entertainment and the streaming services that we have, you know, for movies and stuff like that, and the arts and music, you know, we'd have been, I mean, it was bad enough, but think how bad it would have been if we hadn't had access to all that stuff, you know?
Definitely, man. I'm with you. I mean, music's a huge part of my life. And I just think that, you know, the matter what music you're into, I don't really understand it when people say, oh, music doesn't affect me. And I just can't think they've not heard the right thing, whether it be rock or country or rap or hip hop or whatever it is that on. There's got to be something out there for you. I just don't understand anyone who doesn't. And like you say, we're saying, I was going to touch on it because obviously you put up a video on your socials the other day. A shout out to the tours and supporting live, you know, only not your own tour, but tours in general, and the venues and everyone else that's involved in all the stages, everything else. With my own festival that I run, I know a lot of, you know, roadies who are out of work for a long time, and it's scary as hell for them. And like you say, we need to support those guys again, because music's important.
You do. I think that what I'm trying to get at, I think, you know, we obviously, yourself and me as fans and everybody out there, we appreciate and understand the importance of music in our lives, and we don't undervalue it. Sadly, there's a lot of people that do. A lot of those people are in the government, and they undervalue the arts and how much, you know, it generates, you know, and how much it means to people. And I feel it's always the last to get any help or to be looked at when there is something that we've just been through the last sort of couple of years. And I think that's what pisses me off. But also, I've had a lot of people, you know, coming online going, oh, well, you know, I wanted to go and see so-and-so and they've moved the show twice, so I'm not going to buy a ticket. And I'm going, well, therefore, you are part of the problem. You're creating the problem because you say, I'm not going to buy any tickets till this is over or till I see a show's going to move. I know, yeah, it's inconvenient. Nobody likes it when the show gets canceled. Believe me, it's worse for the artist, you know, because we're putting all that expense and planning into it. But if you don't buy a ticket, then the promoters are going to lose confidence as being one yourself and putting on a show. You know, nothing is going to happen. So, you know, yeah, it may get canceled. Yeah, it may get, rescheduled, but that's a minor inconvenience. But if you actually buy a ticket, that means the show is going to happen. That means the promoter is going to have faith that people will show up when it finally does happen. It's all about supporting the industry as a whole, you know? And I think that's what I was trying to get through to people, that by just going, well, you know, I'm not sure if this is going to happen, so I'm just going to wait and see. Don't buy a ticket, get out there. That's the only way that you'll make, you know, these shows start to happen and get people back out there and bands starting to tour again. It's the only way. By not putting your money or investing in this, it's just, you know, it's not going to happen.
No, you're right, man. I mean, I'm, you know, first and foremost, just a rock fan. And I had several gigs that I'd obviously planned to, like every rock fan going, that got cancelled or got postponed. And yeah, so like you say, it's an inconvenience. It is annoying because you're looking forward to the show or whatever. But equally, on the other side of the coin, I had to move my festival in 2020 over to 2021 because of the pandemic and everything.
Sure.
We were fortunate that it happened because it was in August. So we were fortunate that it still got to go ahead. But I was under thinking, right, okay, I'm going to have to go for a shed load of refunds here because of the obvious reasons. And I would have done it because it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to hold anyone's money to ransom or anything like that.
Sure.
But I was really fortunate because of the festival I do. I put it on in memory of my dad. I lost my dad to cancer in 2010. And then, so it started off a small thing, mates bands in a pub, basically, is what it started off. And then we built it up to the Apex. It was like 800 capacity venue. And we had the Those Damn Crows headlining last year. So, you know, it's grown a lot. But people were really supportive, man. And I think I had to refund like 3 people out of 600 tickets, which was insane.
It's great.
So there is definitely support for the music there. But you're right. I think it needs to be more widespread and more wide thought about. Just
you know, people, you know, as you know, the costs involved before, you know, we even set foot on a stage of just putting together a tour and bringing everybody together and flights and rehearsals and all that kind of thing for a major tour. They're astronomical. So, you know, if you do not buy a ticket up front, a lot of bands can't afford to come and play. They can't afford to tour because they don't have that safety net there. No. And we rely on the fans, you know, and as you and I are both fans, you know, it's about buying the music and buying the merch and buying the concert tickets. It's the only way to keep this thing going, you know.
Definitely, man. But going back to the album itself, When Life Was Hard and Fast, what a band you have for this album, man, as well. I mean, obviously you have Robbie Crane. I'm a bass player, and Robbie's a huge influence on me. I love Robbie.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's amazing.
And I'm also a massive fan of Buck Cherry. So if they'd have Keith Nelson and Xavier on as well. When I saw the lineup, I was all excited immediately, man. It's a killer album. Love it.
Yeah, it was kind of Buckstar Riders, I think, was the band that we had on that. You know, we'd me, Robbie, Keith, and Xavier as the real main core of the band, and it was great. You know, Keith Nelson's a wonderful human being, a wonderful musician, great songwriter, great producer, and you know, we're just good friends, and we really got together. You know, when we started just to write a song, and I think we wrote "Fighting Heart" was the first song that we wrote together, and I remember going home and listening to the demo, and I just thought, you know, I should just do the whole album with Keith. You know, let Keith and I will, you know, we'll just do the whole thing together. He'll co-produce it with me. Keith's a great engineer. He's got a great studio, and I just called him up and said, "This sounds great. Why don't we just do the whole record?" It's like, "I'm in. Let's go." And that was it. And you know, we're already working on the next one. We've already started, and I'll be working with Keith on. I'll be working with Keith on that as well. So we're done. We've written everything. We're just you know, going to book some studio time soon and get in and make the follow up.
Oh, cool, man. Are you looking to have Xavier and Robbie in on that as well, or are you
I don't know. You know, the good thing, what I like doing about the solo stuff is it gives me a chance to be as narcissistic as I can possibly be. And you know, when you're in a band situation, you play with the people in your band, and that's great. They're the people in your band, and you love them. It's amazing. Doing the solo stuff gives you a chance to work with really whoever you want and try different people out. Obviously, Keith will be will be involved in it again on the production side, and I've co-written quite a few songs with him again. But as for the other members of the band, I don't know. I mean, I'll see who's available, see who I think would fit different songs. I always like to try and change it a little bit with each solo album, just because I don't want to be stuck in that sort of band thing,
Yeah. I think it'll go sting across your solo albums though, man. Each one's sort of been down a slightly different route, hasn't it? It's, I mean, with When Life Was Hard and Fast, it seems like there was a good mix of the more acoustic-y songs and then the more sort of hard and stuff as well. But then, stuff on like Hearts on Trees and stuff like that was very much more sort of Americana, acoustic-y type thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did, Hearts and Trees, we did the double album. We did them when Patsy Cline was crazy, which was a full-on electric thing. Then Hearts and Trees was the acoustic side of it, so it was a double album, and that was very much, that album was written about Belfast, about growing up in Belfast in Northern Ireland. That was almost like that was the subject matter of that album. Obviously, when we moved on Life Hard and Fast, we, that was more based on a lot more different experiences. But I think, Patsy Cline and When Life Was Hard and Fast is definitely, for me, I think I found my sound as a solo artist is what I'm most comfortable with where I'm at now. I think the next record will be a progression of that.
Oh, cool, man. It's good to know that there's some new stuff on the way, man. I'm always excited to hear, there's more stuff in the pipeline for you, man. And I knew, obviously, you'd been working on a new Black Star Riders album, so I didn't know how...
we just finished. We just finished this week.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's done. It's all done and mixed, and now we're just arguing over the track listing. What
was it like recording this one without Scott Gorham, obviously, now that he's decided to take
it was, it was weird. We'd be texting him all the time and going, man, we miss you. We wish you were here. And, I talk to Scott every other day. I mean, he's my Uncle Scotty and one of my dearest and closest friends and mentors. And I love the guy to bits. And it was, when you have somebody with a pedigree of Scott and such a unique guitar player as Scott is, he's irreplaceable. So that's why we didn't replace him.
Yeah,
you can't. You can't do it. So that's why we made the conscious decision to make a little bit of a shift and just carry on as a 4-piece. It was nice for me. I got to play a hell of a lot of guitar, which obviously when I've been in a band with Scott and Christian and Damon before, they're phenomenal guitar players. So obviously, I would write a lot of the stuff and then hand it over to them and let them put their magic on it. So personally, it was nice for me to get back to playing, a ton of guitar, which I love to do. But we missed his presence in the studio. We missed his personality. We missed his dry sense of humor, and just everything that Scott Gorham brings. But the band is fantastic. As a 4-piece, as a nucleus of the band that we have now, we have a new drummer in Zach St. John, who's a force of nature in his drumming. And the nucleus of the band was really tight. I think the songs are incredible on this record. I'm really excited about it. It was strange recording because, again, we were recording the pandemic, so we kind of did it. We did the backing tracks at 606, which is Dave Grohl's studio.
Oh, yeah.
So we did we did bass and drums there, and then Christian and I did the guitars up at Christian's studio up in Oregon. And then I did the vocals, and Jay Rustin, who's our producer, he has a studio here in LA. I did the vocals there. So we kind of did it in 3 different segments over a period of time. And, there was distractions going on. There's some personal stuff. A couple of people, sadly, friends of ours passed away during the making of it. So we had to stop to deal with that. And, just life and pandemic times. And it was strange, because usually with Black Star Riders, we get together, book a month, all go into the studio and do the album in one hit. But it sounds fantastic. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for people to hear it, and roll on the next chapter of Black Star Riders.
Yeah, man. Are you still looking for an early release for next year then on that? I think I read.
Yeah, I think the plan is, I think there'll be music coming out this year. I think the first track will probably come out in the autumn of this year. I think there'll probably be 1 or 2, maybe even 3 singles before the actual album comes out. But I think the album itself will possibly come out end of January 2023.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one, man. I mean, I'm well on my own thing. I'm part of the Stone Dead Festival production team. Obviously,
yeah,
were due to come over. Obviously, COVID.
Of course,
again.
Yeah. No, we were gutted about that. in the end, it was the absolutely correct decision to do, because obviously one of the guys came down with COVID prior to when we would have been leaving.
Yeah, I remember
and,
reading it at the time.
what people don't understand, we had the flights booked and paid for. We still have, thousands of dollars outstanding on a van credit card for flights that we couldn't use. I think there's no COVID insurance. People don't realize that either. If you go over and one of your touring entourage gets sick, obviously it's better now, but 6 months ago it was crazy, and you have to pull the whole show. There's no insurance. That's done. So everything you've invested up front, you're not going to get back.
No.
And any business won't operate like that. So why should it be different? Music, we were gutted we couldn't play, because that obviously would have been Scott's last show with Black Star Riders too, and that was going to be a huge thing, and we had tons of cool stuff planned to, that night, and we'd all, and we were just, you have to put the health and safety of your families and everybody. That's a priority.
Definitely.
And we had to take that into consideration. And we were gutted we couldn't do it, but it was absolutely the correct decision at that time.
It's just one of those things, like you say, you've got to look out after each other. You've got to look after your friends, your family, anyone that you're going to obviously come into contact with. And when it's as unsure as the situation was back then, I don't think anyone would have blamed you for coming.
No, thank you. No, it was just, we tried everything up until sort of the last minute. Like I said, the flights were booked. We were kind of ready to go. And then one of the band came down with COVID, and I was like, well, that's it. There you go.
You can't argue with it at that point, can you?
Yeah.
No matter how much you try. It must have been tough, like you say. I mean, you've been gigging since you were 14, and this is the longest you've gone without playing gigs. I can't imagine how much tougher it must have been as a performer. I mean, I only know it from a sort of smaller promoter type side of the coin, but as a performer, that taken away from you, man, that must have been horrible the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's a huge chunk out of your life. Look, it's been lovely to be at home, with my family, and not being, because they're always used to me going away for 6 months of the year. So to have that time at home and just be with my kids every day and my wife every day, don't get me wrong, that's been really, really nice. But also they're very aware that, I'm not getting to do something that I love. And financially you're taking a hit as well, because touring is such a huge part of the income. But it's something, it's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do about this. If it's not like you can make a decision and change it, it's like it's out of your hands. So I think once I accepted it and I went, you know what, it's nothing. How can I turn this into something positive? So for me, that was doing the online shows. For me, that was writing more songs, working with other artists, going into the studio, recording more, putting my efforts into that and going, this is what I'm going to do until I can get back out there and play live. It's just been such an incredibly long time. I actually played my first live show last night.
I was going to say, I was going to ask about it. I think I saw some about that. Keith was there as well, wasn't he?
Sorry?
Was Keith Nelson there as well, did I see?
Yeah, it was for a private event here in Los Angeles. It was at the Troubadour, which is a very famous club here in LA, and it was a private event. But killer band. It was Keith Nelson, Johnny Two Bags from Social Distortion, and Clem Burke from Blondie on drums.
Oh, nice.
And we just did a bunch of like new wave and punk songs. We a couple of Blondie songs, did a couple of Lizzie songs, Social D song, a couple of Ramon songs. And just getting back up on that stage last night for the first time in over 2 years was just, it was emotional. It was incredible. I had a blast. I'm still buzzing from it today. And it set me up great for the tour, because I was like, oh, man, I'm going to still be able to do this. What's it going to be like? How do you stand on stage? It's been so, but it's like riding a bike. As soon as I got on that stage, it's like bang, back into it. And so that was incredible to be able to do that last night and play for people after so long. And it's really fired me up. Not that I needed to be, but I'm, just to get up there now and get a taste of it. I'm like, okay, bring on March. Let's go. Let's do this.
Just giving you that flavor of what you missed, mate. That's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I just seen in my emails ahead of I was talking that you're going to release Still Alive ahead of the tour as well as a single.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that was a nice surprise. That came from the record label, and fair play to them for putting another track out with the tour. And yeah, I love that. I mean, Keith plays some incredible slide guitar on that track,
I love the sound of Keith when he gets his
which
slide.
is really, yeah, it's great, you know. And I'm always I was a big fan of Pete Wells, you know, in Rose Tattoo, and you know, Keith emulates that, you know, sort of style of slide guitar playing, and you know, he really shines on that track when he plays slide on it, and it's a great song with a big chorus. I'm looking forward to playing it live.
Yeah, but and you got some great support on the tour as well with Banker Lane and Highland Tides.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, fans of all three of those bands. I mean, Virgin Mary's have been going for a while now. I think they're an incredibly underrated band, and I think they should be. I think they should be way bigger than they are. And then you've got the two younger bands up and coming, Highland Tides, who I actually picked out of. We were doing a show a few years ago, and I think I can't remember what the competition was. It was, you know, I had to go on YouTube and pick, you know, give them some bands and pick a winner to support Black Star Riders at this show. And all the bands were incredible, but Highland Tides just had an attitude and energy that I really, really liked. And I sort of said, I think these guys would be great with Black Star Riders, and they've just kind of, you know, taken off since then. And so delighted to have them along. And then Anchor Lane, you know, a band from Glasgow, a city that's very dear to my heart for obvious reasons. Again, I've actually written with those guys. I wrote on their first record with them, a couple of tracks.
I realised you'd written with them as well.
I wrote, I think I wrote "Is it Blood and Irony" on the album, and what was the first single? My memory's going. I can't remember the first single. I wrote two songs with them on that record, and again, you know, great band, loads of energy, good songs, great players, great attitude, very exciting live, and I think, you know, it's a great night out. It's a great night out of rock and roll. I mean, you're getting three really killer bands, you know, for a very good price, and you know.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Like the festival that I run, I mentioned we've got Howling Tides playing this year, so I'm looking forward to catching up with the boys. Like you say, they're storming band live, and it's it'll be good to see them, because normally at the festival, like any promoter, I'm running around like an idiot and I don't actually get to watch anything.
Right,
every year I get people go, you've got so and so, you must love standing. And I'm like, I don't get to stand aside the stage all day watching bands. I wish I did. It'd be great.
No. But I think it's a, you know, value for money. You know, I get it. People are a little bit nervous about coming back out with everything that's gone on. I mean, I certainly was. You know, I went to my first show a few weeks ago, and like you, I was a little bit like, you know, okay, how is this going to work? But once I got over the sort of stigma of that, and you know, it's like it all comes back, all those feelings, all that, you know, all that positive energy just comes flooding back, and you know, we're going to be 4 weeks further on in March. Things are getting better every day. You know, come on out. You know, wear your mask, just do what you got to do, but come on out and let's start living again, you know, let's get back out there.
Definitely, man. So what does the rest of the year, other than the album launch and the tour, hold for yourself? Am I right in hearing that? I think I heard a rumor that some Thin Lizzy shows will happen.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Still working on that, obviously doing the tour with the Fighting Hearts in March. There's talk of some TL shows over the summer. There was going to be some more Fighting Hearts stuff late summer. Early autumn, there'll probably be a few more Fighting Heart shows.
Cool.
And then I think end of September, the first single from Black Star Riders will be coming out. So we'll be into promo mode for the album and making the video and building up to that. And I know this Black Star Riders tour date's starting very early on in 2023, and then next 2023 will pretty much be full on Black Star Riders for most of the year.
Hoping that includes UK dates.
Oh, absolutely.
Good man.
A lot of them.
Good man. Well, like I say, I'll be along to the Norwich show, so I'll see you down there, man. Obviously Cambridge is close to as well. I'm really looking forward to it. One more thing before you go, mate. At the beginning,
sure, bro.
We're going to play Gunslinger, because I just love that song from the album. What song of yours would you like us to play at the end of the interview?
Yeah, let's play the title track of the album. Let's play When Life Was Hard and Fast.
Okay, dude. Well, thanks for your time, Ricky, man. It's been great chat to you.
No problem. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Look after yourself. We'll see you in Norwich, yeah?
See you there, man. Take care.
Cheers, Lee. Take care, bro. Bye-bye.
Bye,